blasting Seal's Kiss from a Rose on the Gray at like Roberta Flack levels, right? So that the cars next to you can see it, hear it, and you are just singing along as hard as you possibly can. And you're hitting all the notes and you're feeling really good about where you are with your single named R&B rendition of a song. And you look over in the car next to you and the other person is just staring you with their mouth open like, has that ever happened to you?
TJ, we went live.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Welcome everybody to episode 153 of Sawdust Talk, and we are joined tonight by our friend Bryan of Built by Bricker. And thank you for being here. We are going to get into you in just a moment, but we are going to run through our sponsors real quick. TJ?
All right. First and foremost, we need to thank Hannah and the team over at Surf Prep. They have been supporting our podcast for 2 and some change years now, which is absolutely baffling to me. But that also means that they give us artistic liberty to promote them any way that we want. And this is how it's going to sound this week. I dislike sanding. I dislike sanding so much that I took up turning so that I could have a machine turn the wood against my sandpaper. However, when I'm doing flat work, that 3x4 wiggle sander that they make is always the first thing that I grab. It gets you down into the nooks and the crannies. And let me tell you, all of my clients appreciate how smooth my wood is. If you like a good, smooth finish, you should look into Surf Prep sanding systems. And if you're shopping at Surf Prep, use coupon code Sawdust Talk to save some extra money. Also, we need to talk about not Surf Prep merch, Sawdust Talk merch. Sawdust Talk merch is available at kcbombshelldesign.com. If you have ever thought, you know what this night of sleep needs? A nice, oversized, extra soft Sawdust Talk shirt holding me tight as I drift away into slumberland. Go to kcbombshelldesigns.com and pick yourself up some Sawdust Talk merch. And also maybe check out Layla's scroll saw art. She just finished a Scooby-Doo thing. Totally cool. Patreon. We got to talk about Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you could be supporting Jessie and I to maybe get some new equipment, like a new camera for Jessie so that she can come in loud and clear. It's Patreon/Sawdust Talk. And the last thing that we need to talk about, and it is going to segue into one of our first subjects of the evening, is Makers for St. Jude. Jessie and I are working with Harvey Woodworking Tools to get a bandsaw up for raffle on the Makers for St. Jude website. You can find out about it in both of our stories. I will repost a link to go donate. Raffle tickets start at $30 a piece. And if you are in the US or Canada, Harvey will get you the bandsaw, the specs of which Jessie will recite in just a second. And yeah, Jessie, go for it.
Yes, so we partnered with Harvey. We just posted the raffle yesterday. It is for a Harvey Alpha 615 Pro bandsaw, and yeah, tickets for the raffle, $30 for an entry, $50 for 2, and $100 for 5 entries. I think currently, as of today, we have 12 people that have entered. That doesn't say how many entries there are, but there's 12 participants. So you guys should get out on it. We're gonna announce the winner of that raffle on our podcast May 7th.
Nice.
So.
Right. So go check out Mike at Makers for St. Jude. Go get into your little Googler box on your internet tool and go check out Makers for St. Jude. St. Jude Children's Charities help raise money for technology and living expenses for families dealing with childhood cancer, which sucks. So what we do is we work with makers from the community who make cool stuff, and we help them raffle off their cool stuff, and the proceeds from the raffle tickets go straight to St. Jude. If you are interested in purchasing a raffle ticket, the St. Jude will send you a tax receipt for your records, it being April 16th. you're going to want to stash that away for next year. But we've been all talking about tax stuff this time of year, and some of my St. Jude donations made a difference for me personally, but I know I'm helping those families as well. That being said, we've got a wonderful guest here this evening.
We do.
Mr. Bryan.
Bryan,
Hello.
thank you for coming. And I'm going to ask you the first question. Who are you? Why are you?
Thank you guys for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I guess the short of it is I'm just a guy in his garage who on most days only sees other humans as my family, unless the UPS guy happens to wander by and come in the garage. So I like to go on Instagram, and that really found the woodworking community helps me fill my social cup. So you'll find me on Instagram most days, commenting on someone's thing or posting my own stuff and enjoying the good friends I've made over the internet.
And
so,
are you full-time now? Are you a full-time woodworker?
So I would say no and yes. I have a special needs daughter who takes up a lot of my time. She goes to a school that's an hour plus away, so I spend about 4 to 5 hours driving every day between school and appointments and all that kind of stuff. So woodworking allows me to fit it in where I can. My full-time job was a realtor. I'm doing less and less and less of that as the years have gone on. But I kind of say that I always enjoyed HGTV growing up. So I always thought I wanted to be a realtor. It didn't take me until I was in my 30s to realize I actually wanted to like fix up things and make things and do that kind of part of HGTV. I wanted to be the contractor. So quote unquote, not the realtor.
Right on.
I can dig it. We were talking about a Harvey bandsaw, and in the green room, you mentioned that you are doing some charity work and you've got something bandsaw related. Why don't you start pulling the ribbons off of this package? Let us hear what's
Sure. Well, this week we are auctioning off. We are doing something called Makers for a Cause. It's Autism Acceptance Month. I mentioned my special needs daughter. Me and my friend Andrew Sargent, 2511 Woodworking, big in the woodworking community. I got a lot of good woodworking friends. I don't know why you guys always allow me to come in, but I'm very, very appreciative. You'll see as we go on, a lot of people I've teamed up with have been wood turners. So, but Andrew and I both have a special needs daughter, an autistic daughter who is nonverbal. So this is something we've teamed up with. We became friends just through the internet and then stumbled upon we had this commonality. And as we started this maker auction last year, we found quite a few people in this community have this commonality. So this week, every week we're doing a different item. We are doing an auction for maker type items. Most of our followers are other makers. So we do those kind of things. And we're also doing raffles. So this week is our maker auction. This is from Justin at JML Woodcraft. This makes beautiful bandsaw bow tie jigs. I mean, this is made out of curly maple and redwood. It's just absolutely beautiful. So he donated one of these jigs and a box of his inlays. And those are up for auction up until Friday on my page right now.
Yeah,
and then he does beautiful work. And then we're also doing raffle items. We just finished up a beautiful board. I actually did the raffle spin today. So congrats to Chris at Paco Pen. He won a beautiful board from Rich at Unknown Woodworking. It's a 34-inch board. These are things that people just donated to me to auction off. Rich actually donated something last year and came back and donated again. So this is our second year doing it. Last year we raised $1,900 for a local special needs school. They were able to give buy three computers for children who, like I mentioned earlier, are nonverbal. So it's a chance for them to start to be able to communicate. So when I first, dropped off that check for $1,900, I was a little sheepish. Like, they probably get way more than this. And she's like, no. She stopped me right in my tracks and was like, this is immediately, this is three computers. Like, this will really, really help. So the second year, we kind of knew a little bit more what we're getting into it. So we kind of focused our things on doing the raffles as well as this. The raffle gets people in for $20 a ticket, gives them a chance to buy something. Whereas the maker auctions are people kind of going head to head at each other. So that's kind of like a fun little rivalry. Actually, it's funny because I have two people that became like the best of friends. And when I tell you they might move across the country to live next to each other, they met in the comments section of our maker auctions last year, bidding against each other for a mallet. So this is what I mean about this community. It's just so funny. These connections you meet that you would never imagine. But anyway, so that's what we got going on with our maker auctions, and it's beautiful what you guys are doing. And I know how much work the kind of the admin side of it is doing. So the fact that you guys are helping everyone else get their items together to auction that off is more kudos to you.
That's all right. When the show's over, we're going to strong arm you into participating also.
I'm going to need a few weeks to take a nap, but then yes, absolutely.
Right
I was actually talking to Mike yesterday when I was posting the raffle for the bandsaw on behalf of Harvey, and the website changed. So I'm like, hey, like the instructions for like signing up aren't the same. We need to get this updated. And I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I mean, but that's the point. He was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, that's fine. Like, I'm glad I went through that, because anybody that wants to participate now, I can help them through that process and figure it out. Because now I have it figured out. So
that's wonderful to have you guys at being those point people. That's great.
Yeah. And I mean, how did this first start with the raffle stuff? Like, did you start this, or?
Yeah, Andrew and I last year, like I said, we first met. He started following me, and at the time, I was making a fantasy football trophy for me and my buddies. We've been in the league for like 17 years together, and Andrew started following me, so I was checking out his stuff, and then followed him back. And then I said, "Hey, could you make me a wood-turned football for the top of this trophy?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He'd never done anything. He'd never done that before, but he's like, I could do it. And sure enough, he did it. And it was like the greatest piece ever. And we just became fast friends for that way. And then, like I said, found out that we both had this commonality with our daughters. So, both of a lot of my following has been from doing kind of like shop stuff and that kind of stuff. So I have a lot of makers that have followed me, and he does a lot of wood turning, and is also big in the community. Loves to comment and interact with everybody. So we decided, hey, let's do maker items. Let's do items that the makers might want to bid on to raise the money. So we started with that. And this year we've transformed it to that, and also raffle items that, like, we can my wife can share with her work and get people to buy tickets. And it's gone really well. So we've already raised $2,000 this month. And we still have 2 weeks left. And like I said, last year was 1,900. So we've already beat that.
That's so awesome.
Are you gonna run this like through the year, or is this like a 1 month thing?
No, we're just doing it for April. April is Autism Acceptance Month, so that's why we do it this month. And it's a ton of work, let me tell you. It's like a ton of work. All the promo I got to do, and all the listings I have to do, and all the everything. It's a lot of work. I haven't slept much this month, I'll be honest. I still have a full-time job and family and kids and all that stuff too. So, but we're happy to do it this month. That's why I said I'll probably take a nap or two after this week, and then I'll gladly jump in and help you guys out with some other stuff too.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about some of these projects that you've worked on. We've talked about a fantasy football trophy, which is marvelous. And to find out that you're the person who received that football when he was working on it brings me a ton of joy. I think I've seen a couple of boards here and there on your profile. You got anything else in the works? I mean, obviously you got your hands full with auctions and raffles, but what's the secret sauce? What's coming next out of the shop?
Yeah, so I'm a person that can never do like a 9 to 5 and sit behind a desk all day, because I just can't do the same thing. I'm the same way as a maker. Like, I can't make the same thing. Like, I just get so, like, once I figure out something, like, and I get good at it, I'm like, okay, now the next thing needs to start happening. So for these auctions, like I mentioned, I teamed up with a lot of like wood turners. Like we have this mallet coming up. Here's a sneak peek. Andrew turned this entire thing, but the other mallets, he's going to just turn the handles, and I'm going to make the heads, and then we're going to make a holder for it. So we teamed up like that kind of way. For me personally, I make all kinds of things. Right now I'm working on a white oak live edge bench. I posted a video on that yesterday. I made a knife block out of epoxy. I split up epoxy blank down the middle, threw a couple magnets in it, put that together. Everything I do is different. It's, I take customer projects, but I make a lot of stuff for home and the wife and the family too.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you're at Workbench Con, I got that question all the time. Like, what do you make? And I'm like, everything? Like, what do you want? What do you want?
Stuff.
That's kind of where I'm at. They're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, I tear things apart in my house and remodel stuff. And I have a shop with CNC and a laser. And I don't know. It depends on the day.
Yes, all those things you just mentioned, I do those too. I forgot. I have a laser. I do a CNC. I work with Next Wave Shark CNC, so I have a CNC. I did a ton of work with them. I love my CNC. I've had that for almost a whole year now, and it's amazing. Every project I just learn and like grow on. Like I didn't know how to do anything, and now like I know how to do a lot of stuff. It's crazy how that works, right? You just got to keep going and keep pushing and keep messing up, and then you get better.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing though. Is like to be that person that's like has people coming to you, hey, can you do this? And you're like, I don't know, but I can figure it out. Because that like it challenges you and it like bends your ability, and you have to like sometimes you do have to figure it out on the way. But I think that's a good thing.
My absolute favorite thing about this making woodworking thing is problem solving and figuring something out. Like it keeps me young, I say, or whatever, but it keeps you sharp, and it really keeps you like growing and learning. Is you don't know how to do everything until you know how to do things. Like you don't know until you know.
Yeah. Well, I always say that if nothing went wrong in a movie, it would be a really boring movie. Right? Mm-hmm. And the same thing with woodworking projects. If nothing goes wrong in your woodworking project, I mean, like that's always great because like everybody loves it to take a victory, right? But are you really learning if something doesn't get messed up and then you have to outsmart what you did, right? Like, oh man, lessons, in my opinion, are best learned through errors. So
I could always tell when like a non-maker will comment on one of my videos. They'd be like, okay, can you just get to the end already? I'm like, you don't know how many times I had to start over or redo this part. Like it takes a long time to get to the end of a project. It's not, it's not quick.
Yeah.
Well, people's attention spans are this now.
Yeah, but I mean, I also think it's cool because I mean, we've all witnessed the social media perfection of everything, and it's like, look at this perfect thing I did. So I always personally appreciate when people are like, hey, this is my project, this is what I'm doing, here's where I effed up, and here's what I need to figure out. I mean, it's so much more relatable because nobody's starting out doing anything that we do is going to do it perfectly the first time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So then great. I got a video coming up in like the next couple of days. Be perfect for you. A nice big mess up. But I fixed it. See? That's how you do it.
I love it. I can't wait.
It's so cool. So you and Sarge are obviously trading wood turning and flat work back and forth. As president of the Royal Order of Wood Turners, you realize it's my job to say, when are you getting a lathe? When are you gonna join us on the round wood?
I'm going to leave it to you experts, Sarge and Steve Scherzer, the two of my good friends, and Tony from Tony Turns Wood. He donated something for the auction. Like you said, you tried to bid on that one. No, I'll leave it to you guys. I greatly appreciate what you guys do. And I'll stay over here with the flat stuff. You can have the round stuff.
Yeah, that all set and marking knife were so cool.
It was beautiful, yeah.
For those of you tuning in, I'm sure you have them at least pinned for now, right? I'm pretty sure.
They're on my page. Yeah, they're on my page.
Oh, man, they were gorgeous. And granted, those are my homeboys that you're talking about. But yeah, oh, man, I chickened out last minute on that set. I was like, I'm going to snipe it. But I chickened out. I let somebody else have something pretty, and I'll just put the squeeze on them in the club. So,
yeah, I'm grateful for those guys. They really made some. There's so many community members who've donated stuff. And then as I've started the auction, they're like, hey, why didn't you tell me I would have donated something? Like, there's just only so much I could do. Like, it's just, but thank you. Like, share it and, get it out. That's what I keep telling everyone. Like, just comment and like it. That'll get it out there and get people interested in it. So.
Yeah, we're going to get shirts around the show eventually. And we've had Andrew on. Sarge was a really, really fun guest, and he shared a lot while he was on the show, and that was a juicy one. So if anybody's looking for back episodes, Andrew Sargent's, that's a juicy one. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about real estate work, right? And I understand that there are only so many hours in a day. Was there any one thing other than flexible schedule that brought you to that industry? What were you doing beforehand?
No, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Well, I also did work security of a neighborhood for quite a while. I did that like throughout college, and then I kind of like we did part-time throughout college. I started doing like the night shift and that kind of stuff, like for a neighborhood. I live in South Florida. And there was a neighborhood that was real close to the college, and I actually lived in there. So then I started working there security. It's funny, that's something I'd never really talked about, but I did that for like 10 years at least, throughout college and then past college. College took a while for me. Take it easy, okay? And then past college, and then from there, kind of, I did real estate part of that time too, and I kind of did both. Real estate was part time, and then I'd sell a couple houses, and things would be good for a while, then maybe wouldn't. I've always had multiple jobs, always what I kind of did, but woodworking I didn't find until later. Until I was in my late 30s, probably.
Love it. Absolutely great. Let's see here. It's tax week.
I know.
Everybody's got the long exhales tonight, and that's perfectly fine.
I should mention this because you just mentioned Steve Sherper. Well, I mentioned him, and then you mentioned him. Sure. He made this. I made the blank for this out of like maple and epoxy. I sent it over to him, and then he turned it. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's a pizza cutter. So this will be our next raffle item. So someone will be able to get this for $20. I'm going to make a nice holder for it as well. And I do have 2 of them. So when you enter, you're going to get a chance. You'll either win one or you'll win one, but 2 people will get a chance to win. That's what I'm trying to say. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, he really did a beautiful job. You can see the clear here. It's just, he did a great job. You wood turners are great.
Oh, he's a stud. But yeah, I get to have so much pride for my Royal Order boys. They're all doing good stuff, and ladies. We have ladies in the Royal Order as well. But yeah, I mean, we got to find a way to get a lathe into your shop. I'm sorry.
It's amazing because all these guys you mentioned, they're so like community oriented in Instagram. So they obviously, that's all comes from the Royal Turners.
Royal Order of Wood Turners, which is a really fancy name for a club of wood turning dorks that exists exclusively online. Sorry, I got bugs. But yeah, I mean, Tony was making awls and handles for you. I mean, that guy's just got a massive book of work that he's done. Shirts are. That dude he's in Missouri, actually. I mean, technically. And it's just, he's on the other side of the state from me. And so I haven't been in the neighborhood close enough to go bother him in person, but I'm coming for you, buddy. But yeah, I mean, the online community, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, I think for Instagram is just so supportive that putting together a club was so organic, right? And I still reach out to turners occasionally when I see really, really good work, and I'm like, hey, you should come check out Royal Order. We're really cool. But I think the way the community keeps cheering for everybody, right? And I feel like everybody understands that even if this is like your first project or you're just getting started, everybody knows that everyone starts at the beginning. It's surprisingly wholesome compared to some of the comments that I see on some people that are posting on YouTube. It's a different world out there, but
it's completely different than something like YouTube. Yeah. My favorite thing is the community aspect of Instagram. I started a Maker Fantasy Football League to get like some guys together. Those are 2 of my bigger interests, is fantasy football and obviously woodworking. So I started that, and actually after the season was over, we did like a maker exchange. I think I got that idea from like Andrew, because he's done stuff like that in the past. And I don't know if you could see. Can you see that guy right there?
Look at that handsome fella.
So I have a sticker that was drawn up by a designer named Primo, and that's me supposedly. And so the guy who got me in the fantasy football maker exchange, girl saw art that. It was just absolutely beautiful. Probably the nicest thing I've ever received. Just beautiful.
That is so cool. I don't know. There is something to be said. I mean, Mike came on Sawdust Talk, 2.5 years ago, and was like talking about this idea for Makers for St. Jude, and it wasn't even a thing. And it's like, now look at us. Like, how much did we raise last year, TJ?
Just shy of 40,000, 42.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Amazing.
So, I mean, I hope, and like, if there's a way we can support you in, your stuff too, like we're happy to, pump you up and and share your raffles and stuff. Get more people involved. I think that's really important.
Greatly appreciate that. And like I said, even just having me on this month is a great appreciation to just share. We still have 3 more raffles to go. We have a beautiful wood wall art piece. We have a pen set, like I mentioned. Paco, who won the board today, he donated a pen and mechanical pencil matching, and I'm making the case from the same blank. So we have quite a few more items to go. So we appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we'll get them cross posted for sure. So, in addition to running the raffles and the auctions and doing the was administrative. Thank you. Sorry. Oh my God, kids. Did you say that you had an item that you were going to be raffling or auctioning off too? Did I miss that part of the story?
Well, I'm making a piece of like all of these things. So I've made multiple things. I did the push sticks. That was the first thing. I did all those, and then
Right,
I'm making the holders for everything, and it's kind of a collaborative effort.
That's awesome. I think that makes some of the pieces even a little bit cooler, just to have so many different sets of hands on it. That's
yeah, like awesome. We just did the chisels and the all. So Andrew turned the chisels, and I did the holders that were part of it. And
like the Wally bit.
The part that goes on the wall that holds the chisel.
Thank you.
Oh. Is Andrew close to you?
No, he's in New York, like Buffalo, New York area.
And you're
very far from me. I'm in South Florida, like
oh my
Fort
gosh.
Lauderdale area.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're in the same like time zone, so that's nice.
The internet's cool, right? I mean, it's not all scary. You can meet cool people too, right? I mean, I went to Workbench Con for the first time this year, and I was, I only knew people from Instagram. I only knew like 1 or 2 people. Actually, Alex Duffy from Duffy Woodcraft. I knew him from our CNC group, so I knew him. But very few people I knew there, and it was just like crazy overwhelming, right? Like meeting all these people in person that you know, but you don't know. And that was my first time doing something like that, so it was quite a new experience.
I love maker events though. I mean, it can be crazy. I mean, TJ and I roomed together at Workbench Con, and it's like, you have that moment of, I just need to like chill out for a second. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of socialization. So, yeah, for sure. But it is also nice to like see those people and be like, hey, I have known you for years and now we're meeting in person, and it doesn't feel weird. For me,
absolutely. Once you get over that like initial strangeness, then it's so much more comfortable, and definitely absolutely. By like day 2, I was like loving it, and by the end I didn't want to leave, and was so excited to meet all these new people and put faces to people I already knew. So yeah, absolutely, definitely recommend people doing that for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of fun how accessible some of the, I don't know, Instagram, the maker celebrities are. Like they make it to the meetups and they're there and they'll give you a high five and the time of day for the most part. And I mean, that's just awesome. We had Steve Ramsey on the show a little over 1.5 years ago, and he ended up sitting at my table during one of the big gathering speech things. And it was just like, hey, buddy.
I had the same experience. He came and sat. I was actually like in the lobby on the first night or maybe the second night, and he came and sat like real late, like 1 a.m. He just came and sat down on the couch where I was already sitting and was just talking to everyone. Couldn't have been nicer. He was talking all about how he was doing these red carpet interviews, I think, for like horror films. Like that's like his new passion, and he has a whole YouTube page that he doesn't even talk about on his like regular woodworking YouTube page, but that's his new thing. Like it was just so cool. He's a regular guy, really interesting.
Well, so now we get to go down that YouTube rabbit hole.
Do you have any other maker events that you plan on attending this year?
Oh my God, everyone was talking so much about that one, Maker Camp. Yeah, I talked to Adam Barnett, the Rockler guy. And he could not have like raved, him and his wife Kim. They could not have raved more about Maker Camp and just like how amazing it was, and all the cool things you get to actually like do hands-on and be around. And I mean, they definitely sold it. The part that's, that doesn't sell it is sleeping in a tent. I don't know about that part. I like the hotel at Workbench Con much better.
You can get a trailer. It's fine.
The yurts are very classy and they're up on a platform.
Yeah, way to sell it, TJ.
Hey, look, I'm saying, man, I met the guy who does the yurts. Like, one, solid dude, and two, the yurts are super classy.
They're super cool. A couple of our
I
friends
did.
did yurt last year, and they're fine. Just bring a heater.
So Andrew lives in Buffalo, so I was trying to talk him and like maybe Steve and meet up at Andrew's house, get an RV, and go down. That sounds like I can do. I could do an RV with a couple buddies.
So
Yeah.
there's a company you can rent an RV from them, and they'll just park it in the RV parking, and then you can stay in it like it's a hotel right on premise.
Well, that's a little more glamping. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And then if
RV
you
share.
get 2 of my Royal Order boys there, it's a moral imperative. I will meet up with you guys upstate, and we can caravan in, because I drive in with a bunch of supplies. So
I'm sure they'll be listening. So you heard it, boys. You heard it.
that's right. Oh man, I'm gonna give Steve such a hard time. I'm gonna be like, sure, sir, just park your car at my house and we're gonna go. And I'm gonna demand an internet stranger to go on a 2-day road trip with me. Oh, that's so perfect.
Just show up with a bag and just kidnap them.
It wouldn't be the first time. I mean, not the kidnapping part, but the 2-day road trip.
Yeah. No, I went and picked up Maker's Way Jeff in Oklahoma City to drive him down to Workbench Con this year. I was
listening to that episode. I heard about that. That's great. You went out of your way, I heard, right?
Well, quite a bit, but worth it because he's my boyfriend. So I'll pick him up.
You heard it here first, people.
Yeah.
That's his boyfriend.
And if he denies it, it's all lies. It's all lies and hearsay.
That was one special car ride.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to
We
get
learned a
into
lot
too
about
much
each
detail
other.
about the car ride.
Look, what happens in an East Memphis buffet line stays in an East Memphis buffet line. That's all I have to say about that. West Memphis. We're in West Memphis.
I'm sure that minivan was very roomy.
It actually it was. I slept on it like a brine shrimp.
Oh my gosh, the stories.
But again, it's what the maker community on Instagram is all about. You know, they're just. I'm so glad that it's so easy to surround yourself with good people in this community. I think that's my moral of the story, is that like you can trip and fall into a best friendship with somebody just because you both like playing with power tools. Like, how awesome is that?
That's quite amazing, and it's amazing that multiple people have those types of stories, right? That's not a one-off type of story. Like everyone kind of has like these people. Like I met another person, Kevin, kind of through I met Andrew, same type of deal, and he lives in Orlando. It's a few hours from me, but I take my kids to Disney every year. My daughter's birthday usually, so I met up with them one year. We met up at Rockler. We hung out at the wood lumber section and just chatted. And now the second year I hung up, we went to his house. I graduated to his house. I got to see his shop, like, and now we're buddies. We hang out, it's pretty cool. We don't hang out often, but it's cool to meet more people like that. Like I said, my favorite part about doing this is like the maker community and spreading people and learning people. Another thing I do is every like 2 weeks to a month, I try to do a post on Saturdays called Maker Supporting Makers, and I'll buy and then wear somebody's merch. So I'll find somebody to usually try to find somebody who's got, a lower counter, just someone I'm friends with, but someone that I think deserves to be kind of like shouted out. So I do that and I post that, and I've done quite a bit. I've been doing it for a year and a half. I've probably done at least, 20, 25 of them. And I have quite a few more to go. I'm taking a break for this month for April because I got so much other stuff I'm posting, but I have quite a few more shirts to go. So I'm excited about those things.
I love that. I think it's important too when makers take the time to show themselves. So like you're saying, like you shared about your daughter and where she's at. But that's how you connect with people. Sometimes saying like, not having like the perfect Instagram or, only showing the good stuff is the best way to connect with people, because it gives you a different level of connecting with the people that you probably should be connecting with.
That's why things like this are amazing, like these podcasts. So thank you to you guys for hosting people like me to talk about these type of things. Like, because I'll be honest, like I wasn't something I ever wanted to talk about. My daughter has autism. Like that was a new thing for me. I found out my daughter had autism the same day I found out my wife was pregnant with our second child. What a day of emotions. It was up and down, and that wasn't something like I would just talk about, but like now I can talk about it, and I'll probably have someone DM me after this and say, guess what? I had a very similar situation. Just like when I started these maker auctions, that I've had met so many people that either had children of themselves or brothers, siblings, whatever in their family, just know someone. Like autism is such a broad spectrum that it touches so many people. My daughter's kind of on the more severe side where she's nonverbal, but it touches so many people in so many different ways that it really touches this community. So it's great that they have all come together to support a good cause.
Well, it touches my sister heart because my little sister has Down syndrome. So she's still, she's 8 years younger than me. But she still lives with my parents, and she is doing her thing and trying to be as, trying to do as much as she can, but she can't live on her own. So yeah, it always touches my heart to hear people talk about their kids and, in those situations.
Well, it sounds like your parents are obviously rock stars, because it takes a special person. I always say you got to play the cards that you're dealt, but I guess some people actually don't. So people that do and really stick through it, like my daughter will never leave our care. I mean, she'll be with us forever. And it wasn't something we planned on, right? But you play the cards that are dealt, and there's only one way to go, and that's forward. So bravo to your parents.
Love it. Yeah. And again, I mean, look at, you've already blown last year's, donation out of the water, and you're only halfway through the month, which is amazing. I don't know how to get some down to Florida, maybe get you some photos, but we'll figure something out, man. I can't have all of my Royal Order buddies showing me up for something like this. So we're
so grateful for everyone that's shared it and just got the word out, because it really has spread a lot more this year. So we're grateful.
Perfect. Okay, so what did we miss? What haven't we had a chance to talk about yet?
I don't know. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I got my family, I got my shop, and that's about it. This is like I said, if I don't see the UPS guy, I might not see anyone else besides my wife and kids for a week.
Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Next Wave, right?
I thought you were going to say with the UPS guy. I really thought that's what you were going to say.
No, that's for Sawdust Talk After Dark. This is the after show discussion where we talk about the van ride with Jeff and the UPS guy. No. So how did you get hooked up with Next Wave? Were you an owner before, or let's dig into that a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. I actually heard about Next Wave. They were Evan and a few people from Next Wave were at Workbench Con last year. They didn't have a booth or anything. They kind of went as a participant. And they started following me, I think they started following me. And so I followed them back and saw they posted from there and started getting some interest and saw who they posted with and who they were talking with. So I looked into it a little more, and I've always wanted a CNC. And they're an all-American made company. And that's just something that just felt like right to me. And then after I started speaking to them, I kind of became like their first influencer, at least like on Instagram. I think they had stuff on YouTube before, or at least the first one in a while. And now they got quite a bit. Mark Spagnola recently got a machine from them, the Wood Whisperer. We got quite a few good people and new people coming on all the time. So it's been great. And at Workbench Con this year, they had a booth there, and there was quite a few of us there. So it was really great to meet everyone in person. This machine is it's been a great tool for my shop, but it's been a great tool for me personally, learning and cultivating relationships and furthering relationships in this community. I mentioned Alex Duffy. He's become one of my good friends now, and we just met through the internet, through our Shark machine, and now we text regularly. And we have another friend who recently came on who I suggested to the team. He was a veteran, and he was retiring, and he does a lot of markets. And I'm like, I think this guy would be really good to, come on to the team. And after they talked to him for a while, they did. So now he came on recently. So I've been having fun, teaching him the basics and helping him with the learning curve. And now he's had it for a month, and he's starting to surpass me. I'm like, whoa, slow down, buddy, making me look bad. But I just love, that's another community thing. So that's we have a group chat that we talk in, everyone that's on the Next Wave team, and it's another community aspects that we're just love. And it's not just like another sponsor. I have a few other sponsors where I could say I feel like I'm more like a number or so. This is like a family. Like I really appreciate everything that they've done for me, and I hope that they appreciate what I do for them.
Yeah, I think a bunch of you guys ended up going out for karaoke and arcade games while you were down there, right? It was Next Wave and
Vectric?
Jesse, help me with the software.
Vectric?
That was the Vetric party. Yeah,
Vectric's party. Yeah, did you end up making it out there?
I did. That was probably my that was the last night. I was the most comfortable by that point. That was the fun night. I did walk into that party and I saw some people that I was like, whoa, you are really way above my level. I don't know if I should be next to you, but it was a good night.
That is
But yeah.
so not true on so many levels, because I think that's one thing that people coming into events like Maker's Camp or Workbench Con is like, oh, I'm not big enough. And it's like, no, your presence matters. So you make friends. Those friends are still your friends in person. And people don't really care about your follower count. They don't. So, I mean, perfect example is, Surf Prep. I mean, Surf Prep, I got on with Surf Prep when I had like less than 5,000 followers. And for whatever reason, they saw something in me and they have been so supportive of me since I was like little baby. I mean, I'm not huge now, but at the same time, I mean, they are like family to me now, and it's a family company. And so getting to be in those spaces with the companies that you work closely with is really, really special. Because you get to see them as people and not just like a brand. So
yeah, I'm right with you. Next Wave was like built out of the guy's garage, Tim Owens. He started out of his garage and now he's grown it to this big thing. And I got to meet them. And Tim's actually got, I don't really want to tell his story, but he's got a story similar to a sick child as well. So we touched on that story. And like, I didn't know that before I met him in person. And that was something we were able to cultivate even more of a relationship. And yeah, I really consider them to be like part of my family now. This is not just another like sponsorship, number. It's someone who I go to for things and they come to me for things. And it's not a transactional relationship, as it's more of a friendship.
yeah. I love it.
No, you're coming to
Me too.
Maker Camp this year. I don't know how we're going to get you there. I don't know what we're going to have to do. If I got to get Steve to hop in a truck with me and come abduct you, we're going to have to do it. You got to get up there because it's parallel play with all of your friends, man, for like 4 days straight. And you can parallel play things that you've never even done before, or play with toys that you've only wanted to play with, right? And then you can be bad at it and your friends can be bad at it right next to you, because there's toys for everyone.
I mentioned I was speaking to Adam Barnett and his wife Kim, and Kim mentioned like she would go to sleep at night to the sound of blacksmithing in the background. Like it was just like everyone's just doing something and hands on. I know how you can get the guys to do it. I think you got to hit them where it hurts, and you got to pull their memberships.
That's it.
If they don't go, pull their memberships. Sorry, guys.
I'm not saying I won't do it, boys, if you're watching.
I mean, you can also get your butt kicked by my daughter in Hammerschlagen, because she apparently took over Hammerschlagen last year. So,
do you need a tissue? What was that?
Yes, Hammerschlagen.
Hammerschlagen.
Yep.
Do you know?
And you'll find out all about it when you get there. You'll type it into the Googler. But yeah, the sound of hammers in the forge never stopped for 4 days. There was always somebody working. It was the coolest thing. And I thought that like it might be like a small tent with a couple of forges. No, sir. No, sir. That tent is like 40 by 120 feet long. There's like 20 forges all running at the same time. And then there's a tent right across the way full of air hammers and planishing tools and English wheels and just all that stuff. Like things that would be really cool to have. But I don't have room for that. I don't have room for most of the stuff that I've got. It's nuts.
Yeah, I've had no like formal training on anything. I'm 100% like self-taught. So anything like that sounds very interesting to me. Like I would be very interested in just watching
Right.
experts do things and maybe
No, but
getting your hands on.
they'll do it, and then they'll give you the hammer, and they'll be like, "Here, just pick up where I left off." And then it's like, "Okay, bud, pee on the electric fence for yourself. You're gonna learn one way or another."
That's it.
Yeah, the
True.
welding tent's like that also. Here, make sure that your mask is down so you don't get flashed. But yeah, here's a MIG welder. Knock yourself out, kid. Like, it's just
It's good. though.
you gotta go. You gotta go. Okay,
Do you guys do any? I was going to ask
Sorry.
if you did any other ones like the Texas Woodworking Festival or anything
So
else.
there is talk of a main event rumbling through the jungling. The Texas Woodworking Festival is looking very enticing, and there's a lot of cool people that show up at that one. We gotta have a private business meeting about where we're gonna be and what we're gonna do. But the year is still young. It's only April, and so
It feels like it's flying by.
yeah, it is
Going fast.
indeed.
But yes, we are talking about Texas Woodworking Festival.
Yeah, we're gonna see what we can do to make that happen. We got to take another lap through sponsors and then get to our final question. This is the Reader's Digest condensed version. Again, we need to thank Hannah and the team over at Surf Prep Sanding Systems. They aren't just sanders. They're not just wiggle sanders. They're not just oscillating sanders. They are also an abrasives and dust collection company. If you do interior work on your home, specifically like painting, remodeling, or drywall, you really need to take a second look at their dust extractor and their drywall sanding rings, which should be on the website at this point. All the good dust collection comes from the middle of your 9-inch drywall sander's head, and all of the work gets done on the outer edge for the most part. So they just made foam back drywall sanding donuts. They're totally awesome. Check them out. And if you're checking them out, use Sawdust Talk as a coupon code. It'll save you some money. Buy the Sawdust Talk merchandise from kcbombshelldesign.com. There's boy stuff, there's girl stuff, there's they stuff, there's ace stuff. They've got all kinds of stuff, and there's stuff for you, and it's going to say Sawdust Talk on it. Thirdly, we've got Patreon. Look, you should support us on Patreon because we want to see you at the Texas Woodworking Festival. And I'm pretty sure that that's where every dollar from our Patreon is probably going to end up. And then lastly, we need to do one more lap through Makers for St. Jude. And then before we do the final question, Bryan, let's make sure that you talk about your charity one more time in your auction. Makers for St. Jude. We've got Woodworker versus Cancer and Makers for St. Jude on Instagram. Reach out. If you make cool stuff and you want to do cool stuff for people who need your help, reach out to Mike, reach out to me, reach out to Jessie. Heck, reach out to Hannah from Surf Prep. She's made at least 2 different auction pages. Get connected, get involved, do awesome things with your awesome stuff. And Bryan, why don't you take us one more lap through what you're doing and how many weeks we got left and what's coming up?
Absolutely. So there's 2 weeks left. I think we have 5 items still between the maker items, which I have it's cool mallets, and some of the raffles like the pizza cutters and the wood wall art and all that kind of stuff. So check out my page, Built by Bricker. We're posting every day or every 2 days. My stories, I'm always updating that, and you'll get all the information there. So thank you so much.
Dude, that's awesome. Final question time. Every week, the final question of the show is we look to you to come up with a motivational thought or a quote or something that gets your engine running that you are willing to share with our viewers and listeners to help them get excited to kick open the door to their workshop, make a mess, pick up a tool, or just get awesome. What would you like to share with the class?
So I'm going to touch on the kick open the door to your workshop. That's where I feel, because I have so many times where I'm on a project or I need to do a project, but I've never done it before. So it's like I keep procrastinating. I keep pushing it off. One of my favorite quotes is lessons learned, skills earned. I don't know where that came from, but I don't know. I must have heard it somewhere. I don't know, whatever. It's my favorite quote. I like it so much. I put it on a sticker, that cool sticker that little guy is back there. I have that on the sticker. It says lessons learned, skills earned. And that just means you're going to mess up. Obviously, if you've never done something before, you're going to mess up. You're not going to be perfect. But if you don't start, you're not going to get better. If you don't buy that tool and you're waiting 2 years to buy this other tool, well, guess what? You'll be a much better woodworker, maker, whatever, if you get the other tool and just start using it and then sell it and then get something else. But if you don't start, you can't get better and you can't grow as a person and as a maker, woodworker, whatever it is. So that's my little piece of advice.
I love that.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Thank you.
All right.
So don't forget, for anybody listening in the next few weeks, that Makers for St. Jude, Harvey Alpha 615 Pro bandsaw raffle is live. I will share the link in the video below, and I'm also going to grab a link from Bryan over here for his raffle stuff, so you guys can check that out as well. TJ, do you want to take us out?
That's right. Well, we appreciate everybody who's made it to the end of the show. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we will see you all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.